What is going on? Hope all is well. Welcome to the Life in Transitions YouTube channel podcast. I believe I am live on Instagram here now as well. That's what I'm talking about. New things is pretty cool. At any rate, I'm Courtney Rollins, the Life in Transitions uh, probate specialist and expert. Wear many hats. One of the hats I wear is helping families make probate and estate planning easier. One of my hats, as I was saying, is a real estate investor, and this is one of the ways that I find folks who need support, and I'm able to at least hopefully address their situations and questions. And quite often, when there is real estate involved, I can provide some solutions to that, whether it's me as the cash buyer or helping them get the most out of their property if they want to list it, or helping them figure out ways to hold on to it and hopefully avoid probate in the future. That's become one of my biggest missions is helping families avoid the probate process, as I've found many people to help. Now, I'm not an attorney and I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm just sharing my experience. But hopefully that experience has been helpful, can be helpful to you and to many people out there, so that if you do find yourself in probate, you have some free resources that can help you. If you do need an attorney, which I always suggest that you do find, feel free to reach out to me. I have a nationwide connection network of probate professionals and estate professionals who can support your work. So today we're going to look at North Carolina, some important North Carolina probate forms and documents. And just heads up, if you want to get those forms, you can always just Google search the forms, or you can go to my site, estateproservice.com / probate forms, and get those to you. All right. So again, probate is the legal process for settling the affairs of someone who's passed away with debt in their name or with property of their name. And again, I encourage you all to take a look at things like trust and other spaces where you avoid probate by making sure that you have the right legal documents and instruments that pretty much either make sure there's a smooth transition that avoids probate, like beneficiaries upon death, or things like trust. Trust are not just for the super wealthy and super rich. They're also for folks that who want to make sure they can protect their legacy and make sure they have a little more flexibility. And they're awesome. So again, if you need those resources, reach out to me. I have connections with awesome modern resources like Trust and Wills and or estate professionals that can really help you. So let's rock and roll. Overview of the process is pretty much in North Carolina, if it's a large estate where it's over $20,000 at the time of this conversation here, then you probably will have to open up a large estate. There's other reasons you may want to open up a large estate if there's some related property that's involved. But you're going to open it up. Then they'll send, once you get your letters, you'll send notices creditors and publication. Then you'll be able to take the inventory and do all the accounting by settling the debts and the taxes, distributing the funds that are left over and the property left over, and closing the estate. All right, so let's keep rocking. Okay, so one of the first things you'll see, and this is not all the documents, but pretty much for large estates, these are some of the documents you'll use. This is application for allowance if there is a spouse that's involved. They may be able to get a small yearly allowance or year's allowance. It may include cash, personal property, or both at time. That does not include real estate property, but it can include some personal property and some cash. And so some people may find that they need that, and that's the form you use for that. Form 201, that is the application for probate for either letters of testamentary or administration. The difference is if there's a valid will that exists, then it's a testamentary. You're appealing to the testament, the last will and testament. If there isn't one, then you're doing an administration based on the laws of the land. And it also can serve as an addendum if there needs to be a reopening of a probate that has already taken place. There's also the collection for affidavit. This is usually for uh, small estates, the states that are less than $20,000 at the time of this conversation here that I'm having with you. And so that is the collection by affidavit form 203B. It's usually a simpler process, and yeah, it's for those who have small amount, $20,000 or less total assets. All right. Along with that, you have the 204, which shows how were those things distributed? How were the personal property that was less than that amount distributed? Who received it? And how was the estate zeroed out? All All right. Let's see, that's 204. Then we have 212. Now this is someone who's passed away. Uh, if someone's passed away after January 1st, 2013, then you probably won't need this, the estate tax certification. Um, so this is form for folks who passed away before January 1st, 2013. So hopefully all those decedents have their estates taken care of and you won't need to use this. But in case you do, that's the form right there. All right. In other words, we talked about the affidavit for notice to creditors. Once you actually put that notice into that verified publication that has and the state office can tell you which publications you can use, which newspapers you can use to post your ad. The ad will have to run for at least 4 weeks, 4 consecutive weeks. And once you pay, you'll get an affidavit of notice to creditors to show that, hey, we did follow those instructions and gave the creditors plenty of opportunity to state their claims. All right. Another one is the oath. That's basically if you're the administrator or the executor, you're saying, hey, I agree to these terms. I'm going to do this to the best of my ability. So that's what Form 400 is. All right. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Form 403. Oh, this will essentially be returned to you if you are the fiduciary, the person responsible for handling it, or if you're a co-fiduciary, maybe there's other people working with you, but they'll issue you your letters, and this is what you'll be able to use to execute or yeah, they execute the plans and wishes of the estate. You'll be able to use this to open up bank accounts or access accounts. To deal with transfer of title when it comes to property like cars and things of that nature. This is the letter that you'll need to show. And they usually give you 5 copies, and if you need more, you can pay for them. It's not as expensive to pay for them, and quite often you won't need more than 5. But it's just good to know that that's what Form 403 is. All right. Form 505. Now, when you do open up there at the state, there will be a preliminary inventory, but this is the actual official inventory. And it's usually due about 30 days after you open the estate. So you're going to put in all the joint accounts, all the sole accounts, all the really all the property that's in that person's estate or in that person's name. There is a section there for if like real property was willed to the estate, will it be in there? Or what property that's that was owned by the decedent, if what property is there that could be used to be sold if there's debt or things that need to be paid. Because in North Carolina, not all real estate has to go through. Really, it's a non-probate asset unless someone's trying to sell it quickly while it's in probate before the title changes. There's different stipulations that you come across. Yeah, so 505, the inventory. 506, that's the accounting. Hopefully, it's the final accounting, but every 12 months that the probate's open, you have to give an account of what's going on, what's still in the estate, what's been taken out, what money has been added. Maybe there's the person owned business or they're getting rental income. All that stuff needs to be addressed, and it's either the annual or hopefully it's the final because that means final. It gets approved and you're done. All right. Receipt of distribution. This shows you like acknowledged is very important. When you give someone money, make sure that you've described what it is and this value and that they've signed off on it so you can show that, hey, this is where all the money's going to. Because that's literally what a probate is doing, making sure that the legal way we know where all the assets and debt has been addressed. And if you need to reopen it, 908 is a petition in order to reopen the estate. Hopefully, you won't need to, but sometimes you have to when there's like sometimes funds have come in or there's somebody challenging something. And yeah, that's 12 forms right there. If you want a link to any of them, please go to estateproservice.com or just Google search these. You can find them relatively easy. If you have questions or need support, feel free to reach out to me, Courtney at estateproservice.com. Yeah, I'd love to be a part of your journey if I can help in any way. Also, feel free to send me any questions that you have. Again, I'm not an attorney or give legal advice, but I can search and hunt down some things and at least address them in my podcast and in my YouTube channel, and maybe something that helps you as you put your ducks in a row. All right, Courtney at estateproservice.com. That's the Life in Transitions Experts channel. LITE. Let your light shine. Cheers.